Hello and welcome back to another episode of the podcast Beautiful You. I'm your host Avantika. I know I'm late, but Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to everyone. We are in 2022. Isn't that crazy? Some of us are still processing 2020. I remember it was March 2020 when India got into its first lockdown, and now it's 2022. It's going to take me a while to write down 22 instead of 21. Anyways, so for today's episode, I want to talk about New Year's resolution and how we often end up comparing ourselves to other people. A lot of us keep New Year's resolution and we often fail to keep up with them. We carry regrets from the past year and we often compare ourselves with others and feel miserable about it. The last 2 years have been difficult. It's been a freaking pandemic. What do you expect? I feel like we are often downplaying the trauma we went through just because a lot of people went through it as well. But just because you're drowning 12 feet underwater and someone else is drowning 20 feet underwater does not mean that you don't deserve it. I just hope that everyone would acknowledge the things that they've been through, the things that have been troubling them. Acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge your emotions, and work your way through it. I have a book published on Wattpad. It's not what you think. The book is based on mental health and self-development niche. I was 13 or 14 when I started writing that. And when I was 14, I experienced something and I ended up writing about it. So I just want to share that experience with you and the lesson that I learned from them. So when I was 14, I was sitting at a bus stop for around half an hour and it struck me then how little things, little details teach us about life. These things are almost unnoticeable, though we encounter them every day. So back then, I was sitting there waiting for my bus under hot sun. Many other buses came along, vehicles passed me. Some people were always on their ways to destinations, and yet there I was, just waiting and wishing for my bus to come along. So doesn't it ring any bells? You're sitting at a position for so long, waiting for your vehicle to come there. You see so many vehicles passing you by, and that day, I realized that life isn't a race. Everyone is on their way, at their own pace, going to different places. They get ahead of you, or I would rather say, they move past your sight, and you feel like you're at the same place for so long. Eventually, bitterness and resentment take over so much that you start comparing everything you do with others. Your success gets defined by others who are probably oblivious to what's going on with you, and quite frankly, they don't even care. You use so much of your energy feeling bad for being stuck at one place. At times, you start calling yourself a loser or failure. But really, what others do, where they go, has got nothing to do with your life. They are they're just living their lives, just like you're living yours. So I was comparing this analogy on that day. I thought to myself, to reach home, out. I was hanging out with my friends and I was coming back home. So to reach my house, to reach my home, I was waiting for a particular bus. Instead, I could have walked further along and taken some other buses, or I could have used a train or a cab or some other vehicles. I could have found other ways to reach home, but I didn't. I was sitting there at that very bus stop, just waiting for my bus for 30 minutes. And that's when I realized I literally could have taken some other way to reach home, but I didn't. So I realized two things. There's no point in wasting your time and energy comparing your life with others. And secondly, if you don't get the right chance or opportunity, you hustle and you make another one. I should have gotten up from there, walked towards some other bus stop, taken a cab, or I should have found another way to reach home instead of just waiting for that thing to come along. So you don't victimize yourself and just be there hoping someone else would save you. You have to work your way towards it. You have to decide your life's course. Gary Vee once said, and it struck with me for so long, it's not about who you are, it's about where you want to go, and what price you're willing to pay for it. You are responsible for your own actions, and you make opportunities knock at the door. No one is going to save you. You have to save yourself. So this year, if you do keep New Year's resolutions, make sure they are for you because you want to accomplish them. Break them into small goals. If it's a 6 months plan, break it down to 3 and then 1 and then weeks into finally then to days. We often procrastinate making a solid plan for our goals. We don't write them down on paper and solidify them. It's because we're scared. We're scared of so many things. And we actually write them down, it feels more real. And I think people often find it difficult to deal with that realness. You're able to push past that and put in the efforts, it gets easier to continue working. Because for me, living with regret is so much harder than living with fear. And I know that it's scary putting yourself out there. This is my 4th episode and it's still scary to me. Every time I sit down to write content, it's scary because my thoughts and beliefs are actually being heard by others, interpreted in their own ways. And it puts me at a vulnerable position because I don't know how people are going to interpret it. I don't know how people are going to perceive it. It's not under my control. Once it's out there, it's out there. But I also know that not giving myself this chance would have been something I would have regretted. If something scares you and excites you at the same time, do it. You will only grow and evolve when you put yourself in uncomfortable positions. And you know what I've noticed the past couple of days? I've been scrolling through social media to get some inspiration for, my podcast and everything. So people have these posts where they're like, this is your sign, 2022 is going to be your year, and it's like, manifest that, claim this energy, stuff like that. And it's like, I don't see the point in it. I mean, all it does is give you a temporary high. You will maybe you'll write down your goals. Like, you watch a video, right, and you feel this urge to work on yourself, and you end up writing something. You end up thinking, oh, I'm going to accomplish this stuff. I'm gonna do that thing that I've been procrastinating for so long today. And good for you if you do that. But unless and until you actually put in the work and actually show up every single day, nothing is going to change. We often go on social media looking for motivation, and some posts do give us a sense of that, urgent motivation, but it's only that. It's only a temporary high. And honestly, that's all it will be if we don't work on ourselves. So, my point is, New Year resolutions are for you. Please don't compare yourself with others. Compare yourself with yourself. See where you were in 2020, 2021, and see where you want to go. Make plans according to it. Life is genuinely not a race. I know society sometimes makes it seem like it is, but it really isn't. You are the only one who's going to be there for you. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to do what's best for you. And thirdly, I know it's scary to put yourself out there, to actually start working on your goals, but I promise you, you won't regret it. You owe it to yourself to at least try, to at least give it your best. If it is something that excites you and scares you at the same time, do it. You can't just wake up one day and think, oh, I'm the person that I've always wanted to be now. No, you have to show up like that person. Imagine your ideal self. What habits would that person have? What mindset would that person have? Who would that person be surrounded with? What kind of content they consume? What do they do? And show up like that. You have to put in the work yourself. So choose to be courageous and choose yourself. On this note, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's segment. I know it has been a little vague, but I feel like a lot of us need to hear that when it comes to New Year resolutions, when it comes to the year end, or when we are just starting into a new year. There are so many different expectations that we think we should have, but we generally shouldn't. The only person whose opinion genuinely matters is yours. You just have to show up for yourself. Your New Year resolutions should be about you, for you, to be a better version of yourself. It should revolve around you. My Instagram and email will be linked below. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. You can even send me voice messages through a link which will be given below in the description. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed writing about this. Cheers to a new year of revelations, growth, kindness, and self love. Because life is a roller coaster that only goes up. I love that quote so much. Make 2022 all about you. Bye.